and
Yeah.
see what damage they take just from the one right hand.
Yeah.
And that's what David Chase is the master of.
Yeah.
So it added a different component to comedy.
Wow.
That's real comedy that David
That's
Chase.
incredible.
Yeah, a lot of people don't look at it that way.
Yeah, that's incredible. I've never really thought about it like that. And, like, I just have to say, like, you are so good in this movie. You're so good because the thing that David did, which in many ways you'd think was impossible, but he, you have this whole plot line. The movie's about Dickie, and it's about the 1960s and 70s, what it was like to be a mobster during that time, what it was like to be in the shark skin suits and the hats and the guns, and what it was like back then. Not It's a mob movie. And then there's also the Sopranos in it and the Soprano characters, but first and foremost, it's a mob movie between, Leslie and Alessandro, but you really represent both worlds in a really hard way. Like, your humor and humility comes off so, it's the Sopranos. Like, you're so funny in it and enjoyable, and you're laughing while you're crying, but you also represent a real 60s, 70s gangster and what it was like at the time. So I think that was super hard to do, and you did it. So
I
it's best.
remember all that shit. I came from Cuba in 66.
Yeah.
So I was already in the Bronx in 69, 70. And
Yeah.
I still remember going around the corner. You weren't allowed to go around the corner.
Mm-mm.
And I used to go around the corner and see those men sitting in front of the Italian place.
Yeah.
And I still remember walking past them to go get an Italian ice and losing my fucking mind. Like, I'm a
Mm.
Cuban kid eating a cherry Italian ice. Are you fucking kidding me? And then going back 2 days later to get sherbet with Sprite
Yeah. Yeah.
when they used to put in, because it was like a fucking place where you got egg creams and
Yeah. Yeah.
Italian
Yeah.
ices and shit like that. And I
Totally.
and I still remember going over there and them talking to me
Uh-huh.
and them like spickaroo, you know what I'm saying? Like them calling
Yeah.
me a spickaroo and shit, and me like, what's going on? And so I saw all that in the 70s. I remember the 70s. A lot of people don't. They're not old enough. The 70s were a lot of fun. The country was very free. New
Mhm.
York City was on fire. My mother had that bar in Jersey since the 50s.
Oh, really? Where?
Yes, on 29th and Bergen Line in Union City.
Holy shit.
So I've been going, and that's where the Tony Pro was.
Yeah.
It was a big. I think Henry Hill talks about Union City in his Goodfellas book. They used to hang out at the bottom
Wow.
of the barrel. It's a big little Italian neighborhood that Cubans moved in, and
Uh-huh.
by 1965, it became the second biggest Cuban community in the country. But it was
Wow.
still
Really?
wrapped around Irish and Italian.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I got to see all that stuff, the Cadillacs and the fucking, the convertible Cadillacs, the 3 miles to the gallon,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's all those cars give you is 3 fucking miles to the
Yeah.
gallon. You better have money, an
Yeah.
Electra 225, all those. So
Yeah.
I still remember all that stuff. And I think David represented it
Yeah.
tremendously in this movie.
Mhm.
This movie's going to scratch at people a little bit, just the Newark stuff that a lot of people didn't know about.
Yeah, I mean, it's super important and just like a testament to what's going on now. Like, it just never went away. I mean, 67 was this hot summer. Like, there was these protests across all of America, and the most violent one being the one that actually happened in Newark, with the cab driver, John Williams Smith, I think was his last name. But it's kind of incredible how it's still just a testament of what's happening today. It's intense.
Well, when I watched it, it was weird. It struck a chord with me with with all the stuff that happened last year. I mean, it would have really scratched if it came out last September as it was supposed to.
Yeah.
But I think the movie's still tremendous. I was talking to my Mercy's godfather last night, and he was telling me, my daughter's godfather, and he was telling me that he doesn't know if he wants to see the movie until he watches the show because he works so many hours. My daughter's godfather, and I go, the movie stands alone.
It really does.
It really does. Like I've been watching, my wife has been watching the episodes again. And I catch half of them. I'll come down and catch 20 minutes. And it's just like the other night we were watching one, and it's so weird how much, like my wife is a Christian from Tennessee. She can't find a fucking Christian church around here. Like she can't find one. You know, so she's a Catholic. We got her over at fucking, St. Gabriel over there. And she's like, I don't understand that. So we already, like, I didn't care what religion my daughter was. I really didn't care. As long as she has some type of faith, she's not a fucking heathen. But, I don't want to, you got to believe in something,
Yeah.
So when she said, I can't find the fucking church, I got to put her in Catholic school, I was like, that's cool. And I go with them now. I actually go with them. My daughter signed up for, CCD. She already completed the week. She's going to make a communion next year.
That's amazing.
It's so fucking weird. And The Sopranos is wrapped around Catholicism. Yeah. The episode I was watching the other night, Carmela was talking to a priest, and she was in confession. And then there's always a funeral. I've been here for fucking a year, and I've been to 3 wakes already. A year. I was here a month, and I was at a wake already.
Damn.
I was here 2 weeks, and I got invited to a fucking wake.
Yeah.
So The Sopranos really embraced everything that's Jersey. I'm fucking Jersey, bro.
Totally.
I don't know if you know this. I was, raised in New York till the 3rd grade. And I'm a New York City guy. I love going over there. Not anymore. It's a little weird now. But as far as Jersey's concerned, I'm a fucking Jersey guy. And like I told David, I go, David, Bruce Springsteen and Bon Jovi couldn't put Jersey on the map. You put Jersey on the fucking map.
True. It's true. No, I mean, I think for all of us, it was a really, there's something weird where like I grew up in New York and my whole family lives in Jersey, and I always kind of been in Jersey like every weekend and spend all my summers in Jersey. But there's this odd sort of Jersey pride that I feel. I love New Jersey. And I think, it's a great state, and it where you're from is so important. Whether you're from New York or New Jersey or Tennessee or California, it has a lot about who you are. And, David really has such a pride for New Jersey and a gratitude. And I think that's why he focuses on those details, the people and the family relationships and the locations, like even the mall, like in The Sopranos, like the mall is a very big thing in Jersey. Everyone goes to the mall, and like that's a big thing in Sopranos, and church and the pressure of church, and half your family loving church, the other half of your family hating church. And, like it's just, it is very Jersey, and it's important. It has to be,